Got this story from Reuters. Trump orders nuclear submarines moved after Russian provocative statements. Indeed. U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday said he had ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions in response to remarks from former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev about the risks of war between the nuclear-armed adversaries. Security analysts called Trump's move a rhetorical escalation with Moscow, but not necessarily a military one, given that the U.S. already has nuclear-powered submarines that are deployed and capable of striking Russia. Okay, well, I don't like it either way. So Medvedev said on Thursday that Trump should remember that Moscow possessed Soviet-era nuclear strike capabilities of last resort after Trump had told Medvedev to watch his words. Based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that, Trump said. I think it's a lot of bluster, and we don't know if they're nuclear powered or nuclear armed, which matters. But here's the reality. Russia's been threatening to nuke us and NATO nonstop for years. And it's kind of just like blah, blah, blah. We don't consider your words anymore. None of us are deeply concerned by this. But I don't know. Should we be?
Well, yeah, we got to end this war. This is like, I don't know what, when Zelensky came to the U.S. and had that meeting with Trump and J.D. Vance, and then they humiliated him. He was a second language. It was really hard for him. Everything changed after that. The tone, he basically was like, fuck these people. I'm doing what I want. Europe's still going to fund him. Now Trump is just selling the weapons to NATO instead of giving them to NATO, but he's acting like that's a victory. I mean, in a way, we're getting reciprocated financially for it, but we're still funding the people drone attacking Russian cities. So, like, it's not surprising that they're talking about last resort. So we got to stop this. I don't know what's Putin's victory condition. Does he just want east of the Donbass? Is that all? Because if we can publicly get him to explain it, maybe he did to Tucker Carlson. I didn't watch the full interview. Probably it's right there for us to take. Just figure out what he wants and let's resolve it.
That's what Trump's been trying to do, but he's not negotiating anymore.
Like, what does he want?
Well, that's why you're seeing this, because Trump gave him an August 8th deadline. So he's trying to maximize pressure. I mean, initially, a few weeks ago, he said 50 days, then revised it to like July 28th, and then revised it to August 8th. So it's maximum pressure on the Russians to try and get Putin to come to a negotiating table. But yeah,
I will stress how little I care about the conflict in Ukraine at this point.
Yeah,
because it's like Trump campaigns on ending the war, and then Putin's like, nah, and then I'm just like, why are we still giving money to these guys? Like,
yeah,
Trump is saying we're going to send more weapons and more money. Why? To like force Putin to negotiate or something? I honestly don't think the American people actually care about this at all anymore. No, I don't see flags in people's Twitter accounts or anything like that. Nobody really talks about it.
If the Russians won, which it looks like is going to be inevitable in some fashion, there's going to be some sort of peace deal where the Russians take some territory. Maybe oil is going to go up to $6 a gallon. Do you think people can handle that? Literally, I'm asking.
Well, it's the Europeans. I think we'll be fine. We have other partners. Trump can drill.
We can take Canada.
We can take Canada, yeah. We can take Alberta, as we should.
No. We can unify with Canada peacefully.
Yeah, right.
Annex. Sorry, the correct word.
Reclaim.
Yeah.
How factual is that story that a guy from the West, it was either America or Canada, he took the free citizenship deal in Russia, and he ended up getting conscripted, went to the front line, and allegedly just got killed? Is that
That
true?
was legit.
I heard that, but I don't know.
That was a fast turnaround. That's what I heard. I heard drone strike,
Canadian guy? Is a Canadian guy serving in the
guess it was either American
live by
or
the
Canadian.
sword, man.
And the sword is only across the street. It seems like it's in Russia and it's so far away, but like nuclear weapons, intercontinental ballistic weaponry, satellite weaponry that we don't even know, like they are our neighbors. So we should, and Alaska and Russia are like, what, 800 miles apart or something? I don't know. The
less than that, bro. It's like 50 miles.
Less than that. And
Sarah Palin could see it from her window.
Yeah,
So.
almost literally. It just seems like the red, white, and blue, man. Their flag, it's not a coincidence that it's red, white, and blue. They were, after the fall of the Soviet Union, they became seemingly a very strong ally to support and uphold republicanism. I mean, it's a federation. It's not a republic, but they're not communist. And the Chinese Communist Party is economically threatening to take over the globe by purchasing land. So unless the U.S. and Russia are tight, I see AI and the Chinese takeover inevitable. So we have to be tight with Russia. We've got to be allies with Russia. It doesn't, and the people are the people, you know? If you talk to them, they're the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
I think everyone's lying and everything's fake.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. smoke.
Yeah. Like, this thing's been going on for years. We have no idea what's happening at this point. Trump wasn't able to negotiate a peace deal. But it's not just that. Like, you're talking about the negotiations, the trade, all the stuff we need to be allies with. And it's like, we're hearing now on the liberals are saying that the federal government is no longer tracking inflation data the way they used to. They switched it up in May so that Trump can effectively make whatever numbers he wants so it looks good. On the right, they're saying, no, that's not correct. The numbers are just good. And I'm sitting here being like, I don't know, man. It's all fake, I guess.
Age of deep fake. They do want to demoralize. I said they, but it's a tactic to demoralize your others by getting them so confused that they give up. That is a tactic. So I feel that too. I feel like I don't even know what's real, so why even care? But it feels like I'm being opted by
working.
Yeah.
Well, I think that specifically Trump's strategy is to flood the zone. It's flood it with information. If you keep changing deadlines, changing this, that, and the other.
You think Trump is doing that?
Yeah, I think that's part of his. I think that's part of his strategy. Is it allows the administration to have a lot more breathing room because some of the stuff they're pulling off right now would have been completely impossible 10 years ago. And I think part of that is because the media and the left are so demoralized, and no one can keep up with what he's doing because it changes each day. It's actually a strategy.
That was the Pam Bondi Epstein strategy. Just say a bunch of random crap and then cross your fingers.
That one's a little different story, but but as far as like negotiations go, I mean, I think that tracks certainly with Russia.
It's better to what is it? To apologize than ask for permission. I think that's the strategy.
Look at the
I hate that so much.
I do too, but it's functional on a mammalian level. I think mammals are more attuned to you just taking what you need and then apologizing later, as opposed to can I? No, you're not going to be part of the gene pool. You're asking too many questions.
I mean, you talk about
bro. That's a really, really weird way.
It's deep mammalian behavior.
Okay, so when you say you're not going to be part of the gene pool, can you now explain the logical conclusion of what you mean?
People that wait to eat last, and they ask, "Can I have some of the meat from our kill? Can I? I'm waiting my turn." They're the ones that die because they didn't get fed.
When you then say you won't be part of the gene pool, it implies something else.
Saying that to the person that is just asking and refuses to just take it and apologize later. If you're always the person that asks, you might end up being, your genes may just not procreate because you're waiting to get fed. You're always asking. So there's a time and a place when you've got to seize the opportunity. And if it hurts people or things.
You're actually right, because dogs will take food without asking and they'll apologize later, and there's millions of them.
Right.
Very good point.
Interesting angle.
I'm not saying as a human we should be doing this, but I think it's a mammalian trait.
I did it the other day. My friend owns a horse. She's a rich person. She got a rich horse, and now I see the horse all the time, so it's our horse. And she was like, when you ride him, I want to be there the first time you ride him. And she hasn't been around lately. So I just rode him, and then I filmed it. And I was like, hey, I rode your horse. And I feel like if I had said, I'm going to ride your horse today, she would have said, wait till I get there. And she wasn't going to get there. She was busy. And I was like, I rode him, and I'm alive. And she was like, well, then if you're alive and it's okay, then everything's okay. And I was like, that worked.
There you go. See?
So there you go.
Yeah.
But what I was told is, Ian, it's always ask, because you might not have to buy her dinner.
That's a good point. You might get driven. You never know. You might not have to drive.
Serge is laughing, but I don't know if Ian understands.
No, always ask. I'm with it. I think I grew up asking for permission living inside the lines, but there's a time and a place when you got to make noise and be the one that stands up in the crowd unexpectedly and not wait to be called on.
It depends on how hungry you are.
Yeah. And
what's actually funny is
information.
I actually just told this story the other day about when I was flying to Ukraine. We had to stop in Moscow. This is 10 years ago. So I'm in London, and Vice sends us to Kiev. It's a connecting flight that lands in Moscow and flies to Kiev. In the UK, when you're getting on a plane, they're like, now calling group 1. And you get up and you go in line and you're in group 1. And now calling group 2. And everyone's orderly. In Moscow, they say, in Russian or whatever, now calling group 1. Every single person stood up and rushed the gate. And they were shoving each other out of the way and just wiggling their tickets in the air. And then I was standing there shocked, what is going on? It's weird. And so I said, when in Rome, and I shoved my way through. And then just gave him my ticket, went on as everybody. And then I realized something with the Soviet Union and communism. If you lived in a system like the Soviet Union that was starving, if you were the kind of person that got in line and waited, there was no food left by the time you got to the front. But if you were the person that shoved everybody out of the way and ran up and grabbed the food and ran, you survived.
It's the same in China.
I was going to say I would
Yeah.
expect that from the Chinese, but not the.
I noticed that lining up for planes. If a Chinese person keeps bumping into my back when I'm in the line, I know it's not disrespect. It's just where they come from. They're like, yeah, I'm trying to get as close as I can. Like, deal with it.
Still not cool.
I wonder if that boards faster. Just for because I was watching this video. It's a video that went viral a while ago about how boarding airplanes is fake.
Oh, right.
They do it because it makes people feel good. For real, like you can pay to board first, and so people do. And they were saying that boarding it randomly is faster than the way we do it, but people get angry because they think like, if status and I pay extra, or they want to board with their family and they don't want to. So the most efficient way to board is windows first, then aisles. Or, I'm sorry, then middle seats, then aisles. But instead, they're just like, nah, we're going to keep it this way. And it sucks and doesn't work.
It makes more sense to board the back of the plane first, but the people that pay the money want to sit up front. So
Aisles, windows first.
both, like windows in the back, and then you'd slowly come to the front of the plane.
Yeah, right.
And
Then the
way.
middles, then the aisles,
All
and
the luggage is open near the front.
and
of
then
the plane.
people get mad because they're like, I got here an hour early and I want to put the bag up.
I don't think people know how to get on and off a plane anymore.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I've noticed. Doesn't matter what you say. It's just like I know people can't get off a plane. That's the one I noticed the most.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Not when you're on
I'm
fire.
Like, just go. And it's they have their bags back here, or they're waiting for this, or they're trying to do two bags, or somebody in front of me is trying to sneak in front of me, and the other person wants to wait. And I'm like, what is with all you people? Like, it's same as when I see it in traffic. Like, people line up in the big line. I'm like, there's a line right there where no one's in it, but nobody goes over there. It's just dumb. Most people are dumb.
I think slowing down and lines in order actually gets you there faster because of the risk of traffic jams, which can clog up the entryway. It's why you got to back off and let everyone off the train first before you board the train in New York. It's etiquette. It's like, get out of the way, let everyone off.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why societies that grab and take are usually fail.
Also, people think that skateboards is not luggage. You ever get that? So I take my skateboard on the plane, and I put it in the overhead, and someone goes, this happens a lot. Whose skateboard is this? And I go, mine. And they go, well, you need to move it. I'm like, no, I don't. And they're like, what do you mean you don't? I'm like, it's my bag. It was in there first. If your bag was in there, I wouldn't go, whose bag is this? You need to move it. Just because mine's got wheels on it. Yours has usually got wheels on it too. I'm not moving it. But there is a weird thing where I'm a child. I have a child's toy, and I do not deserve equal respect as another person because it's a skateboard, not luggage.
They try this with guitars too.
Did you move it?
Everybody gets mad.
No, never. Okay. I get in trouble because I look like an asshole as well. So it's like, look, we're not trying to start trouble, sir. And I'm like, I'm not starting trouble. I'm just telling you that that's staying right there. It was there first.
Is it your checked luggage? Is that what it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a weird thing where people treat skateboarders differently than normal people.
We are an oppressed minority.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I stand with you guys. I stand with you.
Yeah, I get profiled, man. Tony Hawk it's his fault too because he skateboards in the airport. And I do too because I see him do it. But the difference is, I've realized this from trial and error. When Tony Hawk skateboards in the airport, everyone goes, whoa, it's Tony Hawk. When I skateboard at the airport, people don't go,
Run.
whoa, cool, it's Tony Hawk. They go, who is this asshole? And who does he think he is? And then people get mad at me.
Coming right
You know
at me.
what's funny? Like, do you think Tony Hawk understands his privilege?
Oh, yeah. No, because we've talked about it when we used to have the podcast together. I had a security guy go to me, hey, you can't skate in here. And I was holding it. And I was like, I'm holding it. And he was yelling at me. And I was like, but I'm holding it. And he's like, well, you can't skateboard in here. And I'm like, agreed. But as you can see, sir, I am holding it. And he was like, it's people like Tony Hawk. And he mentioned him by name. And the first thing I did when I got home was go, dude, you are making my life hell. People are pointing me out now because you are posting videos of you skateboarding in airports.
You ever watch 30 Rock?
Yeah.
Do you know that John Hamm bit they had where he was in the bubble? So in 30 Rock, John Hamm's character is so attractive. He's like mentally retarded. But everyone keeps talking about how great he is, how smart he is.
Yeah.
He thinks he speaks French, but he doesn't because
Yeah.
they just find him so attractive. There are people like that walk through this world getting away with things like Tony does.
But he also does have stories where he gets treated like me because not everybody knows Tony Hawk. A lot of people do, a lot more than us. but every now and then he has been told you cannot bring that on the plane, because some people will make up their own rules on a plane. Like the flight attendant goes, you cannot bring that on the plane, and he'll go, how's that possible? I checked in my bags and the person said, you're bringing the skateboard on the plane. Sounds good. But now you're trying to check, because some people pretend that, well, they think that they're their own security or they can call the shots. And now instead of you don't want to have an argument, but Tony will not argue with the lady if she's like, you can't bring it. But he's been checked before and called out for having a skateboard.
You know what I do when I'm boarding a plane and they say like, hey, we're full, you can't bring your bags on? I just go, oh, sorry about that. I walk to the back of the line, and then I hold the bag slightly at an angle to where the person at the gate no longer can see it. And then I walk up and scan my ticket, and they don't say anything, and I walk out with my bag.
Dude, they'll be like, you can't have two carry-ons. You can't have your backpack and your fanny pack. You have to put the fanny pack in the backpack is when you walk through the aisle, and then you can take it out.
I've had that.
Well, they make up rules. Like you're going through TSA, and then they yell at you. You're like, I didn't realize those keep your shoes on day. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What's the deal with airplanes?
They're pretty chaotic, but wonderful technology. Amazing.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.